Okay, we're live. So yeah, we'll just try and share this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we can get ready and get going.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Thanks again for joining this midweek edition of the Pack Talk Show. As always, it is a pleasure to have you here. We are a few days to the elections in Cameroon, so we are here to talk about the upcoming elections where Cameroonians are going to go into the polls, are going to go into the polls to decide who the next president will be. For the next 7 years, Cameroonians will have someone to call president, either the incumbent President Paul Biya, who is 92 years old, or 11 of the other candidates who are running to replace him. It is our pleasure, it is our delight to always have you here, and we hope that you enjoy the content that we're putting out there. Again, if this is something that you enjoy, and we would like you to comment. If you're so willing, please come online to share your ideas. Again, like, comment, and share our page. It goes a long way with the algorithms. Without much ado, let's just dive in. Um, so, what is your assessment of the general preparation for the upcoming elections? And I want to frame that in terms of security, and in terms of voter preparedness, and just the atmosphere. Is it conducive to have a free and fair elections?
I mean, I would say not being on the ground kind of limits my ability to make a judgment. But again, we are lucky that we have social media and we have people who are back home. Of course, communication has been very important for those of us who are not in Cameroon in terms of understanding or testing the temperature of the elections. If you go to Cameroon social medias, one might say you would see very clearly that elections are ramping up, the campaigns are ramping up.
Mm,
Political parties are out campaigning, touching every part of Cameroon that they can. I have seen a significant increase in political rallies by the ruling CPDM party. Each um, CPTM elite from have got they're going back to their regions and they are organizing campaigns and they are working with their surrogates and making sure that people are coming out and listening to the message that they have to pass across. I don't know if being an incumbent makes your messages easier to digest or a little bit more complicated for of course for the common people on the street. I have also noticed that Issa Chiroma, who is head of FSCN, I don't remember exactly what the name of the
FNCS. Yeah.
political party, yeah, who is head of that party, seemed to be, in my opinion, seemed to be the opposition front runner. He seems to, in the past couple of days, he seemed to have gathered um, a significant amount of support. And again, I say this based on what I see in his rallies. He's been in the
Mhm,
rallies all over the north and the far north provinces. He's been to rally in Bamenda and he had a significant turnout. I mean, I wouldn't believe that someone like Issa Chiruma, who has a very tainted history when it comes to the Anglophone region of Cameroon, especially with the Anglophone crisis, who's had a very difficult relationship in terms of messaging and communication. Spokesman for the government, minister of communication, right? I was surprised by the welcome that he got in Bamenda. And again, we'll talk about that. I'm just kind of highlighting.
yeah.
Other things that I have noticed, as a matter of fact, is that the SDF in the first couple of days, I thought the SDF was, doing well. They were, but as we approach the elections, the momentum seemed to have decreased a little bit. It might just be me. I
Mhm,
don't know if that's what you've observed as well. You'll talk about that, but I think that the momentum of the SDF seemed to be decreasing. Yes, they had a few good rallies, pull out crowds, but the momentum seems to be reducing. When it comes to Bello Buba, he seemed to have been lost. I think he it was like a match. You scratch the match, it burns for a few minutes, and then it turns off. He seemed to have been swallowed up by the support for Issa Chiruma, right? And it seems that
mhm,
his camp, his supporters or those who were interested in his message seem to have jumped camp, and they have a whole lot going for Issa Chiroma. One other thing that I should highlight in terms of social media is that even though SGF does not seem to be doing too well in terms of rallies and all that, they have a significant presence on social media. If you go to Joshua
mhm,
or saying social media page, very busy and very active. Maybe that is where they've decided to focus their attention. But each time you go there, there's something new to see, there's something new to hear, there's a new message, there's a new video. He's doing a lot of that social media movement, which I think is important. And also to add before I conclude, and we will definitely talk about this. We have a few Cameroonian social media influencers, for lack of a better word, who have come out either in support of one or one of the candidates, or have come out against candidates. So we have a few of that we're going to look at, and kind of analyze what they are saying there. But some of them seem to have taken sides and pushing through with that. So yeah, that's some sort of a temperature of what the elections is looking like. 4 days to the D-Day. Yes.
What a great summary. I think that captured pretty much everything that's happening in Cameroon, and you couldn't have said that any better. Um, I think you have hit the nail with your assessment. The ruling party still has a head start. They are, in my opinion, the most organized. Um, Issa Choma has picked up steam to the detriment of Belabuwa, and SDF has been found wanting. So, a great summary right there. Um, does the SDF still stand a chance? I just speak on them because they were a stronghold of the Northwest and some parts of the Southwest. But in recent years, they have lost that stronghold. Do you see them making a significant move in the Anglophone regions?
I mean, I believe that they've lost the momentum even in the Anglophone regions. Again, like I said, if you do a comparative analysis in terms of the videos that you see, and in terms of the turnout of the campaign, and in terms of the foot soldiers on the ground, the grassroots, you would see that the other political parties that I mentioned, CPDM and Issa Chiroma, it feels like they're doing a lot more work in
Mhm.
campaigning and galvanizing the grassroots, right? Yes, SDF is clearly a common name. It's a household name in the northwest and southwest regions. But again, in terms of their ability to deliver, I think at a certain point, people begin to realize that yes, I may prefer the SDF, but the SDF does not have the capacity to win the elections, because yes, they might just have a stronghold in the north and southwest regions and a little bit in the littoral area, right? And again, you
Mhm.
can't win northwest and southwest and hope to win the elections. I don't think
Right.
the northwest and southwest region are strong enough to guarantee, or to guarantee some sort of
To
success,
secure a
or
path to the.
a path to secure a path to the presidency.
Right.
It's not the Northwest. I know for sure. And we had a conversation last week in terms of the power of the North. I know for sure that at least 20% or more of the registered voters. So
From that
20%
region.
of the 8 million voters are up in the north, in the far north area, right?
Right.
So you can see that there's power in terms of numbers up there, and it's possible that winning the north might be a clear pathway to the presidency. So I don't see that in the northwest, in the north and the southwest regions. I don't
Right.
see the SDF doing any better down there. And again, if the SDF is losing grounds in the north and southwest region, I don't see
Where
them.
else can they?
I don't see them
Where else can they make any significant
Oh,
change if you're not making any change in the
yeah,
north and the southwest region? Um,
exactly.
and the movements in the north, we talked about this. It was a shocker to me about how much that region, and we're talking about four regions in particular: far north, north, Adamawa, or maybe three regions in particular, that have a significant sway as to who is the president of the country. I mean, if you have any argument against this, just watch the president of the republic went to the far north to make a campaign. Okay, he has not gone anywhere else. I don't see him going anywhere
Mhm.
else to make a campaign by himself. And you know what it takes to displace the president to another region. You have to do all the security guarantees. You have to make all the security guarantees. You have to transport all the ministers that are very important to the government. So it's a huge tax to displace a sitting president. talk less of making a campaign in the farthest region of the country. So that's just to tell you how significant those three regions are. The the Northwest and Southwest in the last few years, particularly due to the Anglophone crisis, have lost all leverage that they have to sway the Cameroon election in any
Mhm,
significant way.
mhm.
How many voters are coming from those regions? They are raped by violence. So a lot of people are afraid to go out to the polls or even cast their vote. Politicians don't seem to care. Issa Chuma just comes and stops in Bamenda and makes a statement, and that's it. Joshua Osi, I don't know if he can go to those villages that used to be a significant chunk of the SCF to make a case. Yeah, it's just the security is so uncertain that basically people have given up, in my opinion, on the Northwest and Southwest. And the power that used to have to sway the election is not as it used to be. And your assessment is on point because most Cameroonians have looked beyond the Northwest and Southwest. But like
Right.
you guys, it's not like you guys are going to sway the election now one way or the other. Even the Northwesterners, they are not looking at as if as a stronghold party to be able to move. People, Issa Chuma, that's why Issa Chuma is more popular now than Joshua C in the
Yes.
Northwest. Just
Right.
it's such a I'm not sure how many hours he even made in Bamenda, but
No.
that seems to
It
have
was
made
a
more social media
brief trip.
rounds than Joshua Osi.
Right.
Okay, that's just so that
And,
even
and
the
the,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
sorry for interrupting, Gada. I was going to say that the thing is that Anglo English speaking Cameroonians from the North and Southwest region are talking a lot more about Issa Chiroma
Than the yeah,
than they talk about Joshua Osei, who is head
Joshua Osi.
of a political party that you could say has its roots in the Anglophone region. If you go to social media, man, if you every commentator from Cameroon, every commentator from Cameroon, every news media house, every Facebook, YouTube channel, everyone is talking about Issa Chiruma. For some
It's
reason,
a trauma.
I mean, for obvious reasons, the SDF and Joshua say have just been relegated to
To the
it's a
background.
footnote,
Yeah,
right? It's a footnote, not even it's a footnote where you talk about all these other people and then you
yeah,
talk about the SDF at the
yeah.
end in passing, right?
Main pass.
They've got to that point where I mean you talk about the SDF in passing. I wasn't even sure we're going to talk about the SDF today. Again, just because the CPDM and Issa Chiruma seem to be dominating the campaign space, right? They
Right,
are dominating social media. They are dominating in physically, but in the grassroots. I mean, CPDM is everywhere,
right.
everywhere, and then everybody's talking about Issa Chiruma.
It's
And
about
again, not they say any publicity. I mean, there's no
any
really bad
publicity.
publicity.
Negative publicity is still
It's
publicity.
still publicity, right? So if you are
Yeah,
talking about Issa Chiroma for the wrong reasons, I mean, they are still talking about
they're
him,
still
and the
talking
more they
about.
talk about it, people are considering because people are
Right,
making these arguments. I mean, imagine how much time we've spent on our social group, just
talking
talking
about
about
Issa.
the elections, and nobody has mentioned the SDF even once,
Everyone.
not even once. It's
Yeah.
it's Issa Chiroma and
And these are mostly people from the Northwest and the Southwest.
yes. So it tells you, and I'm sure if people go to their own small networks and small groups, if they are politically inclined in any way, I'm sure they would agree with us that most of the conversation is geared towards the two, I mean the incumbent and what I would call the opposition front runner, right?
Right, yeah.
That is what seems to be happening now.
Which presents an interesting, um, very interesting way to look at it because I don't think Issa Choma really has the groundworks in the Northwest and Southwest. Like, I don't think he even spent up to a day there.
No.
CPDM, in my opinion, is the most organized party, so they've been doing the groundwork for a long time. But Issa Chirima
Mhm.
doesn't have any militants in the Northwest, doesn't have any representative. Nobody really knows about his party in the Northwest, but he seems to be making social media rounds. That should tell you that people are very fed up with the government. They see the failures of the government, but they are looking for alternatives. They are looking for the littlest hope to be able to
Mhm.
hang on and say, maybe this guy can give us something different. That even Issa Chirima, who was the Minister of Communication, as you said in your introduction, was staunchly against the separatists, the Ambazonia movement. Okay, arrested people for even talking about them on national TV.
Mhm.
Okay. Suddenly he apologizes, and people are able to look at that and forgive right away and then grab onto the hope that he might be the
The
one to
one.
bring change to the country. So I think that just falls in line with what we've always asserted from when we started talking about politics. The opposition has really failed Cameroonians. People are looking for some sort of unity, some sort of hope to hang on.
Mhm. Mhm.
But no one is coming forward. Issa seems to have been that little branch, and everybody is trying to grab on something different from the CPDM. Anything that is just different from the CPDM.
Like, I mean, it's like people call him. People say he is he's the necessary evil for Cameroon. People say
the
he's
necessary evil. Yeah.
the lesser something devil. People say I mean, when if you're drowning and
You
you get catch sight of some sort of a snake, something you you attempt to hold it, you forget that it could be
Mhm.
venomous. It could that is who Issa Chiroma is for now.
Yeah.
Cameroonians are so desperate for change, are so wanting change that
Yeah.
they would take Issa Chiroma.
Yeah.
That is what I'm feeling. That it's so desperate that Issa Chiroma would be the one
He's the
Cameroonians would.
landline.
He is part of the system again, part of that system, which we talked about the last time. But I mean, that is who is
It
front
is what it
running
is. Yeah.
the opposition for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a video of his campaign. Do you want us to
Yeah. Yeah. That's
hear what he had to say, and then we can um
Qui continue. And so I'll give Mike first. It will top going to get time for stay for here. It will go around the whole country. Hello? His Excellency, welcome. When you are at home, you have just one dream. Make it the most beautiful, the most powerful on earth. But when it has to be the most beautiful. My concern, I didn't come here to deliver an extraordinary message. My commitment is to bring together all Cameroonians, irrespective of their political leniency, their religion, and their tribe. All of us, we are shareholders in this nation. Each of us has the same share. What I would like to do, because I know that 12th October you are going to vote for Chiroma, I'm convinced. What I am going to do, before 3 to 4 months, I will liberate all political prisoners who are in prison today. I will grant them amnesty. But we have to know what is the root cause of the problem which has broken our nation into 2 or 3 parts. We have to understand the root cause, because once you know the reason why this has happened, it is easy to find a solution.
he says something about his role as minister.
I said there was no Anglophone problem. You see, I owe you one thing. When I was in my capacity as a Minister of Communication and spokesperson of the government, I said there was no Anglophone problem. I did it. I am here to emphasize the fact that the minister in charge of communication spokesperson of the government, he hasn't got his own way to say. He
Okay, that is Issa Chiguma in a campaign rally in Bamenda in the Northwest region. And what things do you want to bring up from that before?
Lots of things, but I want to start by saying if I'm the CPDM in the situation room at May, I would just be salivating with all what he has said
Mm-hmm,
because we have clips upon clips upon clips of Issa Chiruma telling Anglophone there is no Anglophone crisis. Okay, telling Cameroon that the form of the state cannot be changed. Cameroon is one and indivisible. So if I'm the CPD, I'm just looking like this. I'm like, wow, this guy has just given us the elections. I am salivating because there's a lot, there's quite a lot to just point out to Cameroon and say this guy is clearly a liar. He is an opportunist. He
mm-hmm,
will change Cam whenever convenient. It seems to me that he is the one that is going to sell you guys if he gets into the presidency because he has no honor, he has no self-respect. He will
mm-hmm.
say something for campaign and change right the very next minute he becomes president. So if I'm just thinking as a CPDM strategist here, I'm like, wow, this guy has just landed us a huge opportunity for us to be able to nail him, put him
Mm-hmm.
to the coffin, and bury him. Because it doesn't take for you to be uh, a caveman to be able to just go out and look on YouTube about Israel's Jerusalem statement about the Anglophone crisis. Okay, that doesn't take a lot of work. And then, secondly, I was just looking at that. I'm like, Isa Cherima, are you saying you oppose the government, but you were saying something? Are you saying you have something in your mind, but you're speaking something else? Your mind did not, or your heart did not agree with what your mouth was saying. What does it change? What has changed? Okay. Do you now support the Anglophone crisis? Do you support those who have stopped school, those who have caused havoc, who have caused people to be killed, who have caused people to be maimed, who have extorted money? Million. Are you saying now you're now in support of those people? Okay. You say you're going to release the political prisoner. Okay. First, you're going to define who the political prisoner is. First of all, you have to define their crimes that they committed. What made them commit a crime? What is the Cameroon penal code? Okay. Who are you going to release? Who are you not going to release? Okay. So there's just a lot of substrate to feed on there. If you are the ruling party. Okay. And then a lot of people too were just happy and gleeful. I don't know if those were paid actors. Like, come on. Are you guys so forgetful? And yeah, I'm not saying this to say I on the part of the people who are happy and I just want consistency from Issa Chiroma. You are not consistent. Okay, you are a flip flop, and I think a lot of people see through that. A lot of people are able to identify that. Okay, I don't know if Cameroonians are go, especially those from Norwest, are going to fall for that, but this for me is a huge opportunity for CPDN to just nail the guy.
So you're right, Ghana. He is giving CBDM a lot of ammunition against him. This is just one of many. How the point is, he wants to come across as if he did not have a choice.
Right.
If you were really in support of, or if you really understood the Anglophone crisis, if you knew that it was, why were you going around saying that it wasn't an Anglophone
Mhm.
crisis? Why were you going around shutting media houses, radio stations that gave a kind of a platform to the so-called separatist leaders? I know I saw one interview where he was threatening one of the I
Yeah.
don't remember if it's Equinox, because they
Equinox.
gave
Yeah.
they gave they gave Chris Anu a platform to express, or they gave one of these separatist leaders granted them an interview, and
Right.
Issa Chiruma was not happy as Minister of Communications, right? So it tells me that he is a flip flopper. He would go to whoever and say whatever needs to be said
Yeah.
to get a vote. And again, I was talking about Cameroonian influencers who have been picking sides and making comments on social media. 237 Town Crier is one of them, and this is what he had to say about Issa. No, not this one.
Yeah.
He something about Issa Chiruma. That is not the one I.
Hmm. Well, he can read that one. Too. Not that you are sorry.
No, I wanted to start with this.
Yeah.
Can you? So he
Yeah.
says,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
A man who betrayed his master can never be trusted. Asking for forgiveness in exchange for power, you will never free. You will never free, sir. I'm not sure.
Again,
But I mean, that's
let
exactly
me
the point we're trying to make.
right.
Okay. You betrayed the person that appointed you into office. I mean, forget for a second your view of Paul or whatever. I mean, loyalty is the main issue here. You're telling me that you, with all the things you have said and done, suddenly you did not believe in that. Okay,
Mhm.
well, it's either you were lying then or you're lying now. Either way, you're lying, and most people are seeing
Mhm.
through what he's trying to say.
And if you're lying, then how do we believe you
How do
now?
we believe you? How do we believe
How
you
do we
now?
believe? How do we believe you now? I think that is. And then he went ahead on another Facebook. This is a Facebook post. He said, now that you're sorry, can you take us back to a federation of 1960? Can you give Southern Cameroon independence? Organize a referendum for Southern Cameroonians to choose what they want? Can you? To hell with the apology. Again, it just goes. You remember when he said the things that he was going to do? He did not mention a referendum, right?
He
He
did
did not
not. No.
mention a federation. He did not mention any of the things that most Anglophones would want to talk about when it comes to the
Mhm.
status
Right.
of the two Anglophone regions. So this is a serious question that's being asked. You're talking about
Yeah.
releasing prisoners and releasing this and talking to people. The president is the ruling party with the president. They're already doing the things. I know they've granted amnesty. That's why you have fighters leaving
The
the
DDR
bushes
Center.
and to the DDR center. It's already something that is there. They're
It's already
granting
some.
amnesties, right? They freed some political prisoners, of course, and
They did.
and they've had um forums for conversations, right? The
They have
Grand
a
National
national dialogue.
how
He
what
was part of it.
he was part of the national dialogue, right? So what is different from what the incumbent has already done and is offering to do? Again, these are the more serious questions that needs to be
Yeah.
answered. Right? Are you going to get us to do a referendum? Are you
Yeah.
going to have a conversation, serious conversation
Or the
about
form of the state.
form of the state? Are you going to have that conversation? Right?
Yeah.
So these are more serious questions that Issa Chiruma has not been able to answer or is not willing to answer, because again he has no good answer for us, right? So again, I just kind of wanted to put that out there so we know
Right.
that yeah, they were people are critical of Issa Chiruma, no, despite the fact that he seems to be getting a lot of support, but there are people out here
Right.
who are quite critical
By the
of his
way,
position.
posts like that, if Town 237 Town Cab made a post like that when Isaac Choma was still communication, he probably will be he probably
Yeah,
will be in jail somewhere.
he will not be. Yeah, he will not make that statement and go free.
He
That's
could not
very
make it if he was still Minister of Communication.
yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting times where we are. So
Hmm.
um, I I think that this is the first time he's been to Bamenda since the crisis.
Right.
This is the first time he's been there as a party leader. The first time you come to Bamenda, you come in there as an opposition party leader of the government that you just resigned, I think, early this year or
Yeah.
something like that. And
Yeah.
then you come to ask for the people, you give tender your apology, and then you ask for them to vote for you. I think a lot of people are able to see through that and say, "Nah, we're not going to fall for that."
And I
So we'll
have been
see.
asking the same question. I mean, he knew. that elections were going to come up in October 2025, he could have resigned from this government 4 years, 5 years ago, right?
5 years ago, yeah.
And then started. He would have resigned and then started his
It's
outreach,
groundwork.
his
Yeah.
outreach. Then people can believe you. You can't wait until the last 3 minutes before the elections to jump out and say, "Oh yeah, Paul Biya bad. Paul Biya is a
Mhm.
very bad man, the worst president, the
The
worst
worst president
leader you've
ever.
ever had. I regret working for him. You've been working for him for 20 years. Why
Yeah.
now? You've had 20 years to see how flawed the man is. Why now? Why only after 20 years do you want to you want us to believe that I mean you
Yeah.
what has happened to you?
Remember
20
when Isa
years.
Choma was when he was Minister of Communication, the head of state, the head of state. He could not make three, four sentences without calling the head of state.
Yes, it was always the head of state.
It
Always.
was
Never
always there.
complain about the head of state.
Yeah,
To turn
you know, the head
around
of
now.
state in his um, great wisdom, the
Yeah.
head of state in his capacity as the commander of chief, the head of state in his capacity as patron of the country. So
Yeah.
everything was the head of the state.
Yeah.
So suddenly now
Turn
the
around.
head of state is the yeah. I think a lot of people see through that. A lot of people
Mhm.
look at it as opportunistic.
Right.
A lot of people look at it as biting the hand that fed you,
Right.
or at least going against the water that you've been drinking for so long. So Cameroonians with time can see right now it's just a lot of people who are frustrated and like you said earlier, just looking for whatever leverage they have to climb out of the pool that they're drowning in. It's pretty much
Mhm.
it. And this is
Uh,
Roma seems to be that person.
I have another. I don't know if this is a critique or just a word of caution from our favorite youngest prospective candidate for president, um,
This guy.
Dr. Assong. He is the candidate who was not able to meet up with
Hmm.
the criteria for elections. But this is what he had to say. He said the problem is Cameroonians have been focused on change instead of the perfect or right presidential candidate. They forget change only comes with the right candidate. Is this a critique? And then
Oh,
is this pointed to Issa Chiroma? Is this just a word
well,
of
yeah.
caution?
I think it's pointed to the Issa Choma, and he, like a lot of Cameroonians, are saying through all of each Issa Choma's gimmicks.
Mhm.
Um, there's no, I think a lot of people see through that. Just a few people will fall for it. Again, I don't think CPDM is that worried about Issa Choma. If anything, they are salivating on
Salivating. Yeah,
that is
yeah.
on his outing in Bamenda because it gives them a lot of ammunition to be able to attack him.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, this was instead a very good campaign for the CPD for the ruling party, in my opinion. If you ask me,
Okay. So I want us to look at a few celebrities, Cameroonian celebrities who have declared very openly that they will
okay,
be
yeah,
voting for Issa Chiroma. Let's take the first one.
or Can Quintus,
Can Quintus, popular film producer, director, probably one of most popular Cameroonian film exec.
yeah,
He says,
yeah,
based on the balance of probabilities, I will vote for Issa Chiroma on Sunday. It's a hard choice, but given the need for change, I will vote for change.
yeah.
I
Some
don't know
sort of
what
what we've been
make
saying.
out of that.
People just want change.
And then we also have Auntie Felicia, who
Hmm.
is popular sketch comedian. He says endorsing Issa Chiroma may not be the easiest choice. Again, we've said this. People are not going for Issa Chiroma because they think it's a hard decision to make, right? Okay, I'll read again. He says endorsing Issa Chiroma may not be the easiest choice. He's far from perfect, but it's the pragmatic one. The alternative is Paul Biya, and with him comes a guarantee of and suffering. Sometimes choosing progress means accepting imperfection, I stand with Chiroma. That is from your favorite Auntie Feli.
Auntie Feli. Okay.
Right.
Good too. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, you did the search. I don't know about how much Cameroonian media, social media personalities have really been involved in this election. I don't know how much that's going to sway. I know it did a lot in the Nigerian elections. Cameroon, I don't think we've reached that level that we have social media presence that can really sway the elections in against the incumbent.
Mm-mm.
You see, Atifili, can't go into this. I'm not disrespecting them. They are very talented Cameroonians, but yeah, there's not a lot of movement behind them, if you ask me, that I've seen on social media to be able to make a dent in this upcoming
Mhm.
election.
But again, I think I appreciate I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah, yeah,
the
honestly, yeah,
courage. I
yeah, oh yeah,
appreciate the courage to come out and
to
say
be able
this
to
is
come
who
down and
I'm
say that.
voting for
Absolutely.
outrightly and say this is who I'm voting for. It's not always easy for people in the public eye to do that because
To do that,
it
right.
affects your business as a social media
Hmm.
influencer or whatever that
Yes.
is, right? You could lose business from that.
Yeah, a lot of
So
business. Yeah.
I do appreciate the courage for coming
Oh
out
yeah.
and hopefully this serves as some sort of a motivation to other Cameroonian
To
youths
others.
who might either not come out publicly to say who they are voting for, but be encouraged by these gestures to kind of go out and perform their civic duty.
Right.
It's your
Right.
right to participate in elections.
Yeah.
It's a right and a responsibility for you, right?
Yeah. A lot of the artists are indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are indirectly supporting Pobia. I mean, someone like Stanley Eno, he
Mm-hmm.
organized a concert in
Yeah,
Yaoundé for peaceful what I don't know
coexistence. He
coexistence.
said it was la cohabit. Yeah, just keep going. I'll find it.
Social cohesion, I
Sorry.
think
Yeah.
is the word. He didn't come out quite clearly to say he wanted people to vote for one party or the other, but that was organized, I think, by the government or by at least by
Sponsored by yes.
sponsors that have a stake at who is president and surely tied to beer. So
It was titled the Living Together Festival.
yeah, living together
The Living
festival.
Together Festival. That was what it was titled as.
Mm.
Which that is usually the language of the CPTM. If you ask
Was
me,
yeah,
that is CPTM's language. It's
yeah.
clearly, but again, he did not come out and say I
He
was
didn't
doing
come out to
this in
say that.
behalf of
Yeah,
or in favor of. He did put out a massive concert entitled the Living Together Festival. Again,
right.
just
Yeah.
and then when he spoke, he did mention that he wanted Cameroonians to come to operate as one. It's one unit. We might be
Hmm.
separated here and there, but we are Cameroonians first off,
Hmm.
right? So again, that was what he did. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so that is where we are. I think
Hmm.
we can't really conclude this conversation without talking about the incumbent.
Yeah.
Mr. President Paul Biya was away
Yeah.
in Europe for a private visit. He came back a couple of days ago and launched the very first and probably the first and the only political rally in the north. And again, we've talked about why the north is
It's
important for
important.
him, right? Or important for the candidates. The incumbent. Did you see
I
did you
watched
get
excerpt of his speech, and um, he just said, "I'm going to continue what I'm doing. I'm not going to give up till my last breath." I think we have that.
oh yeah, sorry, I'm just going to bring it back, sorry.
Je ne me résignerai jamais à la situation actuelle. Je ne prendrai aucun repos tant que des progrès significatifs n'auront pas été réalisés en Beaucoup a certes déjà été fait, Mais je puis vous assurer que le meilleur reste à venir.
That's a proper politician.
A proper politician, a
He's been in
92-year-old is
40 how many years?
yeah,
But
I'm
the
telling you that the
best
best is yet to
years
come.
it's yet to come.
At
Damn, man.
92 years old. At 92 years old. This is the thing that when you see the loan and you think about, you feel ashamed. You can't even talk to your other African friends, talk less of your American and Canadian friends, because you, what is a 92-year-old talking about the best is yet to come? The best of your life is behind you already.
Right.
You know, I don't know what kind of energy you're going to summon to be able to lead a country, but be that as it may, I'll attribute a lot of the failure of the country to the lack of a united opposition. So
Mhm.
it's really frustrating. It's sad, and it looks like we are still on the going to have another winning streak for a little bit before Cameroonians wake up and say we're done. Because a lot of people, he still has a lot of support. You saw the turnout in the final.
Mhm.
Um, um, I mean, you're not going to tell me that all those people were bribed to be there. Even if they were bribed, they had to go and sew a uniform, stand under the sun, wait for him, you know, probably not in anything. So, I mean, you can make the argument that they were all bribed. And then when I see a lot of very smart people, intellectuals, making very lame arguments, I'm like, bro, this is why the CPDM is going to remain in power. Okay, you look at his wife. She looks sad. Her face is not good. Look at all those people. They have been bribed to go and stand on the road. Okay, they stood there by their own volition. Like, do you know what it means to go and stand there and receive 2,000 francs? Go and spend all day and then get
Mhm.
2,000 francs. Do you know what that means? Can you do that?
Mhm.
Go and stand under the hot sun just to get a bottle of beer or a bottle of. I mean, whatever you did, yeah, you don't like the campaign strategy, but you can't just say all these people have been bribed. Okay, that's just a lame and weak intellectually for me to just say, oh, everybody who supposedly has been bribed. I think one of the principal, and I'm going to repeat this, is nobody, they are not seeing better alternatives. And the opposition has failed woefully. And it's just sad to see that our only option or our main option
Mhm.
is a 92-year-old man who has been in power for 40 what, 46 years, 47 years, or 40, yeah, it's ridiculous. 43 years, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, what holds a government to account is the strength of the
The
opposition.
opposition, yeah,
With the weak kind of opposition that we have in Cameroon, the ruling party can sleep until the next elections and might still be able to win, just because the
yeah,
opposition is so weak and so unmotivated and so
yeah.
uninspired that they have nothing new to offer to the people. Because the message that they are pushing is, see, again, just like we said, it's like copy and paste. You've just copied from the ruling party, because
From the ruling party,
everything that you're promising to do is already being done, or
yeah,
the ruling party is working on it. So
I'm
what
working on
is
it.
it that you are bringing to the table to inspire me, I mean, a voter to
Yeah.
choose you as opposed to the opposition, to as opposed to the incumbent, right?
Mm.
They've presented very very weak arguments, and some of them have gone ahead to create problems for
Very, very
themselves.
weak.
Someone like Issa Chiruma, who on this same campaign acknowledged that he has been talking to Christopher
The
Anu, who
separatists.
is supposed a leader of the separatist movement, and went ahead to mention that, oh, he reached out to Chris Anu before his thing and he was guaranteed safe passage. Like, who, you why
Who, someone who Issa probably knew when they were going to kill his brother. FM No PT. Issa was probably on board, knew about all the strategy, knew about everything to take out, not No PT, Fimasha.
P Marshall? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
it's
it's
crazy.
really sad. It, it's crazy. It's really crazy. Um, not to belabor the point of Issa a lot of people are just like, nah, what are you gonna do different? You have the same government, you're you're the same group until a few months ago when you resigned, and you only resigned because you wanted to run for election. So yeah, a lot of people see that, and yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. Final words before we end wrap
No,
up the show.
yeah, I know we've experienced a lot of disappointment in the opposition, disappointment in the ruling party. But I like to take a moment. It is your civic duty to go out and cast your vote. It is your only responsibility that you have as a Communian to determine who the next head of state is going to be. It is 7 years of your life. So if you're in your mid 30s, you're going to be 40s. If you're in your mid 40s, you're going to be 50s. If you're in your 20s, you're going to probably be in your 30s before you have a next president. So there's a lot at stake. Okay. You have to go out and vote. It is a very important aspect of your responsibility to your country and to your future generations. So, for all those who have registered, it is my hope that they will go out on Sunday and they will perform their duty with honor and respect for the nation. So, wishing all Cameroonians well, be peaceful, be vigilant, um, do not seek to stir any trouble, do not engage in one if you see one. Just focus on um, making sure that everything goes according to the law. That's my only wish for Cameroonians.
That's well said, Ghana. Same thing. I mean, it's. I wish them the very best. I wish they have a peaceful, a free, a fair elections, and also to accept the results. The results
Yeah,
might not be what you like. It might not be what
right.
you hope for. It might not be what you voted for. But I majority when the majority says this is a candidate that we want, that is who you get, and let's learn to accept the results of important elections like this. So yeah, good luck. We would probably come again probably after the elections to talk about the results
The
of the
result.
election, some of the predictions that we've made on this show, some of the feelings that we've expressed, and then
Yeah,
to test the temperature of Cameroon post election, which is going to be quite
very
interesting,
interesting.
I would say.
Very interesting to it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
see
you.
you
Thank
again.
you, everybody.